Hi everyone, this is Ian Przybolinsky, and I have another video for you today from intelenglish.com. So, what I want to talk to you today about is how to learn English, and give you 3 simple tips about this subject. The reason I'm making this video for you is because we get many emails, and many of the emails are asking me, how can I learn English? What do I need to do? So I decided to make this short video for you today to help you out and give you 3 simple tips. So let's get started. The first simple tip for how to learn English is to start simple and start small. Many people try to use materials that are too difficult for them, and they don't understand these materials. So you need to use materials that you can understand. Easy materials, materials that you can practice again and again and again. Now, many of you have recently purchased my Superfast Speaking program, and that's really great. Congratulations, because I know it's going to be very helpful for you. Now, in the Superfast Speaking program, you will notice that I use very simple, easy fairy tales, children's stories. For example, Goldilocks and Little Red Riding Hood. In Turkish, that's Kırmızı Başlıklı Kız. And some people have asked me, Ian, why am I learning these children's stories? Why am I learning fairy tales in English? Is this going to be helpful for me, for my business meetings, and for my professional English? And I explain to these students that if you can't understand a simple children's story, and if you can't explain a simple children's story in English, how can you explain difficult topics in a business meeting? How can you give a presentation for your job if you can't do these easy things first? So start with easy materials, basic materials, and then you can go on and continue with more difficult materials. So that's the first step. Start simple, start with basic materials. Now, the second step is related to the first step. The second step is choose the right materials and choose the best materials for you. Now, first of all, I never recommend that you use course materials or lesson books, because these materials are not realistic and they're not useful for helping you speak fluent English. So I recommend that you always use real materials. Use real English books, real English magazines, television shows, films, news. Use real materials, and use materials that you're interested in. Sometimes I ask my students, what are you listening to? What materials are you using? And they say, I'm listening to CNN and I'm watching BBC. And I say, okay, do you like the news? Do you enjoy the news? And they say, no, I hate the news. It's boring. And so I tell them, then don't watch CNN and don't watch BBC, because these materials will not be useful for you. They'll be boring for you, and you won't learn very quickly. So use interesting materials for you, and you can also use materials that are related to your job or your career. Materials that you're interested in. So that's very, very important to choose the right materials. Step number 2. Step number 3 is to get the right help. Now, I didn't say just get help, okay, because some help can actually not be very helpful. Everybody needs help when you're learning a foreign language. It's very difficult to learn all alone. It's very difficult to learn by yourself. So you need to get some help, but you need to make sure that you get the right help, the right teacher. So how can you know if you have a good teacher or the right teacher? I can give you 3 simple rules to follow. Number 1, ask yourself, has this teacher learned a foreign language? Can they speak more than one language? Because many English teachers only speak English. They've never learned how to speak a second language. And because they've never learned, it's very difficult for them to give you good advice. If your teacher has learned a second language very well, very fluently, he or she can share his or her experiences with you and give you good advice about learning your second language, English. So that's the first question. Have they learned a foreign language themselves? Question number 2 is, do they teach grammar? And if they teach grammar, how do they teach grammar? Many teachers teach grammar because it's easy to teach. You just open the lesson book and there's lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and you just give the lesson very easily and very simply to the student. But this is actually not the best way to learn grammar. You must learn grammar with real English sentences and real practical examples. You cannot learn to speak grammar if your teacher is saying, have, has, plus verb 3 equals present perfect. Because when you're speaking, you can't remember this rule, and it's not a useful way to learn grammar. So, question number 2 is, does your teacher teach grammar? And if he or she teaches grammar, how do they teach it? It's very, very important for you to look at this. Step number 3, or question number 3, to know if you have a good teacher or not, is what is your teacher's attitude? Is your teacher encouraging? Is your teacher positive? Does your teacher make you feel good? If your teacher makes you feel bad, then I recommend that you find another new teacher immediately. You must find a teacher that makes you feel good, that makes you feel positive, and who is always willing to help you. So those are the 3 questions to ask yourself. Number 1, have they learned a foreign language? Number 2, how do they teach grammar? And number 3, how is their attitude? How is their personality in dealing with you? Are they positive or are they negative? Okay, they should be positive all the time. So those are the 3 simple tips about how to learn English. Number 1 is start simple, start with basic materials. Number 2, choose the right materials and the best materials for yourself. And number 3, get the right help. Everybody needs help learning language, and you need to make sure that you get the best help if you want to learn fast. So I hope this short video was very useful for you. I'm going to be giving you some more new videos this week and next week, so please check your email and check our website again to see those new videos. Have a great day and good luck with your English learning.